Are you showing everybody?
I am. How are you?
There you are. Ah, good. I'm doing well. Can you hear me
You
okay?
had to run out to the car.
Well, I'm at the gym and I'm like, well, I can't go home because there's like a half a dozen teenage kids there and
Oh
they're
my
all
God.
super loud and there's music playing and there's people running around and TikToks going on. So I'm like, I guess I just have to do this from my truck.
Oh my
So I
goodness.
stayed here to the last possible minute. So I apologize for the lack of fancy lighting
Oh,
and
you're fine. You're fine. That's
oh,
it.
there she is.
Here, you can here, sit here for a minute. She's got to say hi to you.
Hi,
Yeah.
Dustin.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. Doing okay. How's things down there?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
She's in high school now,
Nice.
so she falls into that category
Oh
of your
yeah.
kids.
That's excellent. Yeah, my daughter's a senior now, so it's our last big go
Yeah.
round. That's it. Did you enjoy your long weekend?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Anytime you can sleep in and not go to school is always a good thing.
Very.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
Indeed.
have a good time on the
All right, thank
podcast.
you. All right. See you, sweetheart. Take care.
All right. All right. Let me see what we got going on here.
All right, my friend.
Yeah, so this is obviously a new venture for me. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
that's good.
you are episode 3. I've actually got the double header tonight, so I got 2 interviews tonight. But
Oh,
I'm
geez, it's
booked
just a lot
all,
to do.
yeah, booked all the way through pretty much December right now, and
Nice.
got a new magazine that I've got in the works.
Busy guy.
Trying to
Yeah.
keeps me out of trouble,
It's a good balance.
right? Right. Let me make sure that we are live on YouTube here, and then we can jump right in.
All right.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you're fine. I'm
I
just
was just I
giving
was
you
making sure my phone was in sleep mode because I don't
oh,
so let me shut that all down so we don't get interrupted.
quick check here. We should be good. And like I was saying earlier, these are going to be, 30, 40 minutes. We're not going to do hour and a half, 2 hours like
Yeah.
previously. These are intended for people to listen to on their drive. So,
Oh, nice. I like it.
although after we're done, I do have a question for you. So after I get off all the live stuff,
Okay,
I'll
no
talk
worries.
to
We're
you
doing
then.
everything live tonight. It's not recorded for anything else.
No, we're just recording at the same time we're live on YouTube. So,
Okay. I just want to know in terms of referencing
yep,
time and place and
yep.
such. Cool. Sounds good, man.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on YouTube. We appreciate it. Leah and Mike from LM Paranormal. Good to see you guys. Well, I can't really see you, but I know you're there. Appreciate y'all joining. We're getting ready to start recording here, and we're going to have a good time tonight. All right, Dustin, are you all set?
I'm
Go.
good to go, my friend. As good as we're going to be.
Hey, everybody, it's Sean with the Old World Paranormal
All right.
Podcast. We are on episode 3. Tonight is the first of a 2-night doubleheader. So if you are watching us on YouTube, not only are you going to be able to see our first guest, you'll be able to see our next guest of that. Last week on Friday, we had Dave Spinks. What a cool conversation that was. We definitely are going to have him back on again at least another time or two because Christian on the podcast. Again, this podcast is not just about the ghost creatures to the paranormal to UFOs, great things happening. If you follow me on any form of social media, you will know that I just released, I guess you could say, the teaser for the new magazine. Para is the name of the magazine. It's all things paranormal. First issue, worry about any paper magazines or anything cluttering up your countertops or stuck under your bed. Any details you need for that, head to Paramag on Facebook or hit me up directly, and we'll get you all situated. Tonight, as you can see, such from random town in somewhere USA is tonight's guest. Someone that I absolutely love, because anytime you talk to our guest tonight, you feel like a better person. You come out feeling a little bit lighter because he's such a motivational individual. and that's part of what he does. Just to give you a short resume, as if we don't already know who he is, he's a paranormal investigator and researcher, motivational speaker, and author. Lover of pie and circus peanuts, of course. I mean, those are like two food groups by themselves. You may have seen him on Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunters International, Ghost Hunters Academy, Ghost Nation, a lot of things with Ghost 2. If you haven't had a chance to check that one, please do, because it's pretty neat. But tonight's guest, direct from his vehicle in the middle of nowhere, Mr. Dustin Pari. Dustin, thanks for being on tonight.
Happy to be here, Sean, and my apologies again to you and to all the viewers tonight. As I was explaining to Sean prior to the show tonight, you know, time slips away, and there's a lot going on. And October's a busy month, and I make commitments, and I want to make sure I honor them. However, I'm at that stage in life where I don't always do a great job of checking my schedule versus everybody else in the house. And my teenage daughter was having a birthday party for one of her friends. So I found myself in the house with about half a dozen yelling, screaming, TikTok making teenagers, music up loud. The cats were all freaking out, running around. I'm like, there's no way I can do an interview from in here. So I went to my home away from home. The other place I spend most time outside of airplanes, my truck. And so here we are in the gym parking lot. Not the best lighting, but a strong connection. And so we shall do the best we can with that. So again, my apologies. But I forget to check about the birthday parties of friends.
Hey, no apologies necessary. I know how it is. My daughter's 14, so I know how it goes when my wife is literally my calendar. She tells me every day what's going on, and I just go from there.
I feel you.
Yeah, I never know what's going on. But anyway, you are a busy man. Anybody that heads over to Dustin's Facebook, you can see for pretty much at least the next couple of months that I'm aware of, you have a lot of stuff going on, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's always good to be home for a while. I think the last time we spoke, actually, you were getting ready to do another big loop of things. But I want to start out tonight by talking about your, I want to say career, because I think it has kind of gone that direction for you as a motivational speaker.
Mm-hmm.
You have always been, since I've known you, which, gosh, now it's actually been a few years since we first met, I think at the Bell Mansion.
Yeah, I think so.
Several years ago. And obviously, like I said before, you're a very positive person. You have the personality that makes people listen to you. They kind of draw you in. And I think that's a great thing about you. And one of the great things about having you on Ghost Hunters was because you were kind of that guy that, okay, Dustin's talking, let's hear what he's got to say, because it's going to be something good. What made you decide that motivational speaking was something that you wanted to be doing on a relatively full-time basis?
Well, I appreciate your kind words, sir. It came actually by happenstance. It wasn't my plan. There was some idea, like back in high school and early college, like maybe I'll become a psychologist or something, because I like helping people. So the nurturing aspect was there, but I never followed through with it. But when I was on specifically when I was on Ghost Hunters International, I'd spend a lot of time in my hotel room. I didn't really go out. I don't party a lot. And I would go back to my room. I would go on the good old MySpace page back when social media was friendly and people. And I would get some messages from people, obviously about the show and stuff, which is great. But then I would start getting messages from people asking questions about self-harm and cutting and ideas of suicide. And I realized how important that was. And at first I was like, why the heck are they writing to me? Like, I don't understand. Like, why would you think I'm the guy to help? But I took it very seriously. And I always just let people know, like, listen, I'm not a trained therapist or licensed psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything, but I am somebody that's willing to listen. And I kind of feel like that's what a lot of us just need. Every lecture I do, whether it be a motivational one, a paranormal, a Christmas, or whatever it is I'm talking about, I always say the same thing. I just believe that we're spirits going through a human experience. I don't believe us to be from here. I don't believe us to stay here. But while we are here, we could probably do a lot better job of helping each other out, learning together and laughing together and crying together and growing together. But a lot of times we're so busy, we shut other people out. And I think that's what I started to realize. People were writing to me because for some reason they felt comfortable with me. Like you said, maybe on the show they made a connection. Yeah, I watch like, oh, like in real life, we'd probably be buddies. Like we'd probably go have beer and pizza. So here I am on a reality show, and I think people felt that same type of connection. And so when they write to me, I would always take time to listen and to write back. And since then, every night, I don't even know how many years now, when I sign off on Twitter, I always put the number for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the website for afsp.org. I try to do that across all the platforms, but I always do it on Twitter. And I just believe in leaving that light on for people in case they need something, because it's just, it's not easy to go through this human experience. And I just feel that I want to use a little bit of a platform I have to try to help others if I can in any way.
And that makes sense. And like I said, on Twitter, I do see you signing off like that all the time. And I try to retweet that as often as I can. Do we even call it tweeting anymore? Do we call it Xing? What do we call it?
I think we still call it retweeting. We're old school, repost, share, like, subscribe. I don't know.
It's still the Sears Tower in Chicago and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes,
but yeah, I try to retweet that as much as possible because, like you said, you never know what people are going through. And sometimes people aren't willing to share that kind of information, but they make that connection. One thing that I think is very important too, and it's one of the first things in our very first discussion. I remember this like it was yesterday. The very first talk I ever had with you, we were talking kind of about this same thing, and you said something that sticks with me. And I've said it many times on the previous podcast that I was on, but also when I'm talking to people. You said, it doesn't matter what you believe in, just believe in something.
Yeah, just believe in something bigger than what we are, because whatever God or God is sharing to subscribe to, I believe there's, for me, I'm a Christian, but I believe there's so much positivity and truth in all the major world religions. It's just different prophets, different skin tones, different understandings, but it's the same understanding that we need to care for each other and love each other. But you need to have hope in something more than this life. This life is filled with plastic things, plastic people, a whole lot of nonsense, and we need to dig beyond that and find what's real. And I feel what's real is our spiritual lives, and it's beyond what we can see and touch here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanna touch on a subject here. This episode, like I said, it's not going to be, but typically somebody has Dustin Pari on their show, like, oh, we're going to talk about ghost hunters the entire time. That's not going to happen this time. Everybody knows you from there, so there's no need to get into that. I want to get a little bit deeper into a subject right now that is at the world of us paranormal people than I think it has been before. And that is the subject of what they call Pari unity. Now, the reason I mention this is because it kind of ties in with what we've been talking about, with everybody trying to get along, doing good for each other, and making the circle of life, I guess you could say.
Well done, Mufasa. Yes.
Yeah. Pari unity, in my opinion, in the paranormal field, working together toward one common cause. It seems that things are getting in the way of that by people that are searching for, as I like to call it, fortune and glory. Now, I've talked to other people who have been on a variety of TV shows over the years, and if it hasn't been made clear yet, despite what the internet says about some of these people's net worth, you are not a millionaire. You are not rolling in the hay with dollar bills at night.
No.
So the pursuit of fame and fortune, I think, is futile. What do you say to people who are getting into this field with those hopes?
Well, it's always good to have hopes, right? And it's good to get paid to do things that you love. So I'm never going to crush anybody's dream and say, it's never done very well, and kind of line the coffers and they're doing okay. And I don't begrudge them or anything. Like, if you can find a way to do it, do it. There's people who've never been on TV now with the advent of social media, TikTok and YouTube and stuff. They're doing very well. Probably better than I ever did getting paid for TV, and they're doing it, from the comfort of from their own home or wherever it is they're filming things. So there's definitely ways to do it. But if that's the only reason you're doing it, then that's where I would just question the integrity portion of it. And I feel like, in terms of Pari unity, like, we don't all have to sing from the same hymnal. It's actually really good for us to have different ideas, but just be respectful of each other and lift each other up when we can. But there's always going to be some people, we go back to the spiritualist days. We go back to the 1800s with the physical mediums and the Fox sisters. There are always people who are going to be doing things to make money that is not real, right? And I think it just comes down to hoping that those who are flirting with the field, learning about the field, or just casual viewers of what we do, that they are gifted with enough discernment to realize, like, okay, there's a difference between what I'm watching here and what I've watched on other shows. And there's an ass for every seat. Like, watch whatever you like. You want to watch something that's more entertaining, please do so. You want to watch something that's more scientific, find it. Don't have to collide either. Everyone can get along. But I always want to be respectful of the spiritual field, because I know at some point I'm going to pass away, and I'd like to get a nice reception when I cross over. I don't want to be like, oh, you're the guy that faked everything and, yell demon this and demon that. I don't want to be that guy, But if some people like to watch that stuff, then more power to them. It's totally cool, But what I have trouble with is kind of twofold. One, people doubling down on nonsense, because now it's like, it's been like this for a while, like, here a demon, there a demon, here a portal, you got one, I got one, they're all in the basement. And I just kind of feel like people went completely the opposite way of, try to be skeptical, try to question things, to just accept everything without ever asking any questions. And again, if you want to be entertained, that's fine. But if you want to have a real discussion about actual investigating, well, that stuff has to be disproven, and you have to accept it when it's disproven as factual. Of course, there is a good and evil side to everything. This life, the next life, it wouldn't be called paranormal if it was very normal, right? Mm-hmm. So those things, when they do happen, are very, very rare. And the other thing is belief. Belief is such a wonderful and powerful thing. We just talked about it a little bit. Like, you got to believe in something bigger than yourself. It's so important to have hope. In those darkest nights, you need something deep inside your soul that makes you say, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to get up, and it's going to be okay tomorrow. It's going to get better. And maybe tomorrow's not going to be perfect, but on a long enough timeline, I'm going to stare at the damn horizon. I'm going to keep walking forward. I'm not going to give up. Things are going to get better. Belief is so important. I think the sky is red with purple polka dots. And I tell you that every day. And I keep saying the sky is red with purple polka dots. No matter what pictures I see, no matter what science says, I continue to say, no, it's red with purple polka dots. And somehow they get infinite proof that the sky is indeed not red with purple polka dots. But I can't change my mind. I have to double down on all the stuff I've said all these years, because I don't want people to think me foolish now. Well, you look much more foolish when you don't change your thought process. You go back to season 1 of Ghost Hunters or season 2 when I first debuted with those guys, and they were still, looking at DVRs. We were talking about orbs still. And somewhere around the progression of things, we're like, you know what? That's not exactly what we thought it was at first. Yeah, they could be ball energy, they could be orbs, but most of what we're seeing is dust. Most of what we're seeing is insects, it's moisture, and we moved away from it. It's okay to learn from mistakes, to learn as you grow. Science evolves, thoughts evolve, our process, our life, our tastes evolve. Don't get stuck in doubling down on things you believed 10, 20 years ago because you feel foolish to move on. We need to evolve the science, we need to evolve our thought process, and we need to elevate and evolve ourselves.
I mean, that's a fantastic way to put it. And, it seems too, like you had mentioned, demon this, demon that. It seems that trend on social media is starting to fade, and I'm happy about that. I think that there have been a lot of cases where people have started to realize that just because somebody puts words on a title to a video, that's going to be pretty wild. I'm going to click.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that's starting to fade away. And it's almost like in the same evolution, this is where, as this is fading away, the pair unity is coming back to the forefront now. And I don't know. I like to be a problem solver. I like to help contribute to the solution to problems. And it just seems that this one is stuck in neutral and trying to figure out how to push it one way or another, push it backwards and get it out of the way, or push it forward and let something else come in behind it. It's just ready for the next issue. But do you think that there is one big solution, or do you think it has to be approached in a series of steps
I
to
think
get back to pair unity, or to get pair unity in
general? I'm a believer. I'm a hopeful fellow, sometimes to the point of of defiance. But I kind of feel it's a human issue. I think it's bigger than the paranormal field of our experiences, and we're all kind of focused on what it is that we're going through. But somewhere there's probably 9 elderly people sitting in a courtyard somewhere complaining that somebody doesn't crochet the way that they crochet, because all they do is crochet all day, and this one person refuses to double loop it or whatever the hell it is you do. I kind of feel like no matter what it is that our hobby is, no matter what it is that we focus on, that we're going to I feel like no matter it is that we focus on, they're always going to find fault in others. And I think the problem comes down to the fact that we have to remember that our experiences are all different, because they're all viewed through our own lens, through our own life cycle, and that it's okay for people to have different opinions. And what it comes down to is just maybe not unity, but just respect across the board in the community. Even if somebody's doing something that you don't agree with, that you may not think is helpful, maybe you don't, you believe in this approach or that approach. As long as no one's doing anything harmful to others, as long as no one's doing anything harmful to others or to themselves, or they're bilking people out of money, people that are in pain, people that are grieving loss. As long as people are bilking people out of money, hurting people, or hurting themselves. Listen, it's like the old adage, we're like blind men on opposite ends of an elephant for the first time. There's no way we could describe the ass end of that creature and the front end of that creature and think it's the same creature. But turns out it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've had the luxury and the blessing of investigating in, I think, like 27 countries across 6 continents. I've been in 47 of our United States through investigations. For over 30 years, this is what I've done. And so my experience is going to be very different from somebody else. And somebody's done a lot more than me out there too. I hang out with John Zappas and I'm like, I still have so much to learn. And I've been around for a while, but we just have to be respectful of each other and know that some things that other people are going to see or say is just going to be different, because their perspective, their end of the elephant is a little bit different. But we just need to focus on respect. As much as I love the idea of everyone, hugging a tree and singing Kumbaya and singing s'mores, eating s'mores at the end of the day, I don't think in the paranormal, in the political world, in healthcare, complain and fight about something. So we just have to find ways to respect each other and to be loving, and to realize that we're all just getting through this world together. And we just give each other something. I've been saying a lot, Sean, like I'm kind of like Dr. Seuss. I like to rhyme and stuff. I really been saying this quite a bit lately. I feel like we need to give each other a little space, a little grace, and keep a smile on our face. Just people are struggling. Life is tough, trying to get enough money to buy mozzarella sticks at the end of the day after I pay my mortgage. Sometimes that's a real thing. And when somebody's going through something and they're flipping out in the market or whatever, give them a little space. Don't be right on top of them. Somebody's having a flip out online. You don't know who they are. Maybe you don't need to share. Maybe forgive them for it. Show them a little bit of grace. Like, it's part of this experience. We're going to screw up. We're going to make mistakes. And just always trying to smile. Always trying to show others, especially kids. I believe so much in the innocence of children. And I hate what is going on with the children in this world today, because I feel like they're being forced to grow up too early. I feel like technology is robbing them of their innocence. showing them
Yeah.
that the world's not a scary place, man. Keeping a smile on your face, just being nice to others. Like I just came out of the gym and I waited and held the door for this young lady. She's like, "Oh, thanks so much." And like the fact that it seemed remarkably nice that I just held the door, which is the easiest thing to
Mhm.
do, shows that most of us aren't doing it, you know. So we can focus on those things, man. Space, grace, and smiling. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, man, couldn't have put that better myself. That's which is why I didn't. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I definitely think that if more people would pick up on just those three little keys right there, I think we'd be on our way to a much better place in this world. But it's got to start somewhere, right? So might as well start with you.
That's it. That's it, my friend. I keep trying. You know, I've got this little thing, cheap plug, but I do this little thing
Uh-huh.
on Patreon called the Acolytes of Kindness, the AOK project. And it's only $5 a month. Like it's not there to make a lot of money. It's there just to help me run some other things. But I
Hmm.
do it. Um, that's why the cost is there, rather. But I do it because I really believe that we can make this ripple effect of change that we've always heard so much about, you know. And so I do these little weekly quests of kindness, and that all the acolytes, all the members of the Patreon page, that we reverse trick or treating, which was either buying or making a baked good and bringing them to a nursing home, you know, so that the elderly who can't get out could still feel the spirit of this holiday season, you know, still celebrate Halloween in a little bit. But there's always like weird little things every week. Um, you know, leaving bubbles on the doorstep of a neighborhood kid, just little things that we can do to help each other out in this life. And I really believe that those little things do make a difference when people just see a little unexpected glimmer of kindness and hope in
I
this
love
world.
that. I think that's a cool little thing. I mean, imagine
Thanks,
some
man.
kid getting ready to go to school in the morning and, oh, wow, bubbles. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my
Yeah.
wife is a kindergarten teacher. She has been for the last almost 18 years now. And, she teaches at a school where the kids, there's not a lot of money and the kids are, you know, not the best off. Their families aren't the best off financially. And most of her class actually doesn't even speak English. She
Mhm.
teaches at a school with predominantly, a lot of struggles there. And they do some little things like that for these kids too every now and then, and it makes a big difference. So yeah, something that costs you maybe
Yeah.
a buck and a quarter at the dollar store can turn a kid's day completely around. So
Help
yeah,
others, and I believe that there's great ways for us to do that, and inserting little magic in the world. You know, what is the paranormal if not
yeah,
celebrating magic? You know, like stories about Bigfoot and
mhm,
aliens and ghosts. And like, yeah, like that's what I want more of. You know, I don't want to sit in traffic and just go to work all day and punch buttons like a monkey in front of a screen. Like, that's stupid. I want to
yeah,
talk space and Mothman. Like, and we could maybe not produce Mothman. You know, maybe we can't do that for every little kid, but we can leave candy canes out. We can leave out little trinkets and little things of joy and little sticky notes for people, just letting them know that, you know, I get it, life's tough, but we're in it together. Little things make a big difference, and I feel like we forget
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, totally, 100%. Absolutely on board with that. Speaking of things for the kids, I want to talk about something that I've seen you've seen you posting quite a bit on here lately. You have some coloring books
Oh yeah,
available, and I don't think they're just for kids. Coloring books are for everyone. Started and let people know where they can
sure.
get these awesome coloring books.
Thank you. Yeah, they're definitely for kids and adults. A lot of the art is very complex, and honestly, some of them, like the zombie ones, are really grotesque. It's like straight out of The Walking Dead. So you'd probably give a kid nightmares with that one. But um, so this started. Um, I made my first one in I think June or July of staying over at my parents' house because mom was sick and I needed to help take care of her. And I'd stay up late at night and my brain's always going. I was trying to find an outlet. And my manager, Linda, had suggested, she's like, you know, with all the things that you do, your creativity and all the things you like with the innocence and youth, like, have you ever thought of doing like a coloring book idea? And I started playing around with AI, and it was July, so it was Shark Week, and so I made a shark coloring book, the surreal sharks, and they're all like in underwater, like New York City and stuff like that. And I just was messing around with it, you know, learning how to use it. So I launched a line of um, paranormal themed coloring books called Spooky Pages. And I wanted to make just a classic Halloween book. And when I started to mess around with the images for a haunted house, I really, I made a coloring book of just 45 really crazy, creepy looking haunted houses. And so I just called it Spooky Pages Haunted Houses. And then I made one with the patch goblins, a bunch of weird goblins hanging out in a pumpkin patch. And it's just taken off from there. So I have 11 titles in the Spooky Pages line now. We've got witches and wizards, voodoo dolls that are really like cute. A lot of people like that one. We have one with aliens, and I mean, there's 11 different titles. The newest one is called The Cryptid Kids, and I wanted to imagine what like little Mothman and little Bigfoot, and little Nessie would look like. So it's just alternating images of them. And I also made one called Festive Pages, which I'm adding a second title to that now. That one just has the Yule elves. So I wanted to do festive Christmas coloring books. Of course, we have a Krampus as the crossover, and then I do have a couple of mental health books too, tying into what else I do with the motivational speaking, and those are called Coloring is Mental. And I'm very thankful for practice with their patients because they find that sometimes patients, just like us, like we can't find the one that shows what it feels like in our head. And as they see that picture, they start to color it, they start to open up, and they talk to the therapist about what they're going through. So this is my Coloring is Mental line. We've got 2 of those. I'm making a 3rd one. All of them are on Amazon. There's always knockoffs for some reason. So I always just tell people, if you go to dustinpari.com, and you'll find the page with all the books. You click one of them, it'll bring you to all my Amazon pages, so you can find everything there. But I'm really passionate about it. So they take me a while. I don't just take any image and slap it up there. I designed it originally with an AI, and then I bring it into Photoshop to make all the corrections, because even a zombie shouldn't have 9 fingers on one hand. So we have to fix those things. So I do my best to clean them up, and I make it look like a consistent an artist feel through all the books. And then we put them in Canva for one final render of the graphics, and then I put them up on Amazon. So get yourself some Spooky Pages and have yourself a nice little haunted time.
There you go. Something to do, the kids and the family all together, color some pages, doesn't matter what time of the year it is. But I will say, Halloween is coming up right around the corner, and then I know your favorite holiday,
Yes,
Christmas,
sir.
is shortly behind that. Why don't you let everybody know a couple things here? We'll kind of bring this to a close. I want to keep your what you've got coming up here in the near future that they can attend or that they can reach out to you about, and then let everybody know how they can follow you on social media.
Sure.
I know where you're active and not active, but let everybody else know how they can follow you and follow the craziness that is Dustin Pari's life.
There is a lot of craziness, yeah. So we still work in healthcare by day, so everything else is a side gig. But I think we've got 25 more this year, and then 10 on the docket for next year. So I've got a bunch of library adventures throughout New England. I just go and I do free meet and greets to come say hello. I've got all the books there. We do book signings and we do a lecture, all sponsored by the library, so they're free to people to attend all throughout New England. I'm actually flying out to Kalamazoo after work tomorrow. We go to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and we're going to be hosting the haunted house for the kids there. We give them all the coloring books. It's one of my favorite events that I do. Very different from everything else, but it's nice to inspire weirdness in all the little ones. So that's a lot of fun. From there, we go to Scarefest. We got Mid-Michigan coming up. And then my good friend, Miss Chris Williams, we have a YouTube show called Rebellious Spirits. So itself. And we do weekly, the 23rd, because Halloween I don't work. I just hand out candy. But that's going to be on the 23rd. It's $13 to join us for a live 2-hour show. Probably go longer. We've got gifts. We've got prize packs. We've got some special announcements. And she and I are also doing some events in Massachusetts and Connecticut, a Rebellious Rise Up at 2 historic locations in Massachusetts and Connecticut in December. And I've got, and I know this is a hot button topic for some people, but again, I look at the good side of things. And I've got 3 tickets left for my Day of the Dead celebration over at the Conjuring House. That's going to be right in November. So on the Day of the Dead, we'll have a good time there. And then we're donating a portion of the proceeds of that to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Always be mindful of mental health and trying to put a positive light on things. And yeah, oh, Rhodes Hotel. Chris Williams and I will be at the Rhodes Hotel in Indiana next year. And Miss Chris Williams and I, we work a lot together. I like that gal. We're going to be working with our good friend, Mr. Steve Gonzalez, at the Ohio State Reformatory. We've got the place rented out. We've got some heated areas, and in January we're going to have a hell of a time at OSR. It's been a long time since the three of us did something like that together. So, all this and more. We're going to Ireland. We're going to Key West to hang out with Robert the Doll. I'm going to eat his candy and make him angry again. It's going to be great. So, DustinPari.com/events. You'll find information for all that stuff. And I'm on Twitter and Facebook and TikTok, and nothing's ever gone viral. I go like low grade fever, but that's about it. But we've got all motivational videos on my own YouTube channel too. Love to have you along. And if you want to join the Acolytes of Kindness, I implore you, please do. I think you have a great time. We have a monthly meeting via Zoom, and it's all at patreon.com/Dustin Pari. All the links are on dustinpari.com. But we're just trying to do good things, man. I'm so thankful for every blessing I've gotten in this life. I always feel like I'm a complete screw up and I don't deserve it, but I know that's part of this human experience, and I'm going to just give everything I got till they put me in the grave. So I'm here to help out, and I'm here to have a good time, and I'm here to entertain. And most of all, I'm just here to try to listen and help people through this life.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind too. Here, especially recently, and in the light of all the events that have happened, with me recently, things went the exact opposite way that I thought they would go, and I've just been given in a very short time so many opportunities, so many avenues, and so many different ways to do things that I really want to do. And I'm a screw up too. We all screw up. It's human nature. But I'm thankful for every single opportunity and every person I have out there that supports me. So if you're looking to support Dustin Pari, he just told you about 89.3 ways to do so. Buy the coloring books, join his Patreon, just like a page. Go to his Twitter and get motivated yourself every day. Guarantee it's going to happen. You did mention one person that I want to give a special shout out to because she has done some mention, Linda. I don't know if I should say her last name or not. I don't know, but anyway, I won't say it just in case. But Linda, she knows who she is. What a phenomenal person. She does amazing things, and a great person to have in your corner. So I appreciate her as well. Well, Dustin, I appreciate you taking the time out to after your workout and in between the ones for taking.
Do another round.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. I do appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. And at some point in the future, love to have you back on. I know you're a busy guy. We can get deeper into some stuff as well. But everybody that's been watching us on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. I appreciate all those likes and subscribes. I have no idea what half of that stuff means, but I appreciate it. It's all new water to me getting into all this stuff. So I'm not in it for the numbers. I'm in it to have fun and to give people like Dustin an opportunity to talk to everybody out there and hopefully strike just a little something inside you that spurs you to be an even better person. So thank you very much, Dustin. Don't go away because I do want to talk to you after I end the live. And those of you on YouTube, we'll see you here again in about 20 minutes as we go live with our second guest, JD Hill. We'll be talking to him tonight for a little bit too, and then it's way past my bedtime. So we'll talk to you all later. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. All right, let me make sure I end this YouTube. If I know how to do that. I suppose I should. Oh, never mind. Don't want to do that. Give me just one moment here. I just want to make sure that the YouTube link is ended.
gonna start my truck up and defog my windows. All my hot air fogged up my windshield.
I did have some people here on YouTube. A couple people said, "Can't wait to see you at the McIntyre Villa." Oh, you're going to see Stephanie O'Reilly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She
It'll
is
be
a
a great
hoot,
time.
man.
Yep.
She is a hoot. I have not been there yet, but I think I will. Wait a minute. Is that what? What is that? When are you going out there? That's in
December.
Atchison.
I'm going there in December for. I'm doing my Christmas thing there this year. We're gonna do the Victorian Christmas Carol event.
I might actually be there. I was invited to go down with some people there. I might see you there.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Why can't I stop this YouTube? Okay. I am going to. I'm going to end this Zoom real quick.